Welcome back, my friends, and a little extra bit because there's been so much going on that made me laugh my head off this morning. I don't live far from the studio. I just live up that hill there somewhere, over there. And yeah, oh, I hurt my bloody arm then. I hurt my Anyway, so right. So the great thing about me gobbing off on social media as well as on Ustream, as I say, we put little bits of our shows on YouTube to try and get you buggers to join on ustream.com to see all our funny stuff. Incidentally, yes, and I am giving it a plug. That live show we did with me and Jerry Kay, it went off the scale, the ratings, so we've decided to do some little snippets. We've edited some down, and we're going to put it on Ustream this weekend. It will be on Ustream. You can go and have a look at that. Oh, the sandwich woman's turned up outside. Not for me, too fat. Anyway, can't do it. Now, talking about gobbing off, right, the greatest thing about this is people want to join in the conversation. They listen to what I say, and then they get stuff off their chests as well. So whenever I put videos up, we get thousands and thousands of comments. And some just get thrown out. I think that the YouTube people have a little look. They've got they've got a computer that has a little look, and if it says bad words like current, or flock, you get sent off. There's loads of them. Some people just call me a twat and a Tory dinosaur, so we delete those and only leave the ones on that say I should be Prime Minister. Just kidding. No, I'm not. No, I love going through the messages to see what other people think about what's going on in the world and if they agree with my take on things. So yesterday I spoke in depth and I got quite umpy about it. I looked as if I had the needle, didn't I? The Southport massacre, where 3 innocent young girls, Alice, Bibi and Elsie, were murdered. Little kids murdered, you fucking bully. Murdered. Taylor Swift, right? All the little kids love Taylor Swift. They're going to a Taylor Swift dance class to mark the start of their school holidays, dead by this horrible bastard. Here he is again. Yeah. Do you know, I was so angry talking about it. I still am angry talking about it. So many people in positions of authority have let these beautiful little girls down. And judging by the comments you left, you all feel the same. One message we received really stood out, though. It was from a lovely bloke called Paul, who was responding to my thoughts about the taxi driver who had come into contact with that evil piece of shit, Alex Rakabukanuka, in the week. He come into contact in the week prior to him killing those babies. The week before the attack, this monster had got into a taxi with a knife, planning to commit a high school massacre like the Americans have. This is such a shame. The high school massacre. It's even got a title now. So this is what this guy was setting out to do at his old school. And his dad begged the driver not to take him because of what he was planning to do. And they managed to stop him. So I asked if the driver on that occasion had reported the incident to the police. And it's a question I'd still like the answer to. But I want to make it absolutely clear that I was not referring to the taxi driver who drove him on that horrific day. So our friend Paul, who wrote in and then emailed me to say that this taxi driver is a real great family man from Southport who had no idea this evil bastard had a knife, and he would have been the first person to intervene if he had known what was happening. Now, I don't doubt that at all, listening to Paul going on about this chap. So this poor man has been dragged into something awful, completely out of his control, just simply by doing his job as a taxi driver. And his life has been in turmoil ever since. So people who are watching this, or if you hear this and you know someone that's having a go, tell them to wind their fucking necks in. And Paul, please tell your lovely friend, let him know that no one in their right mind blames him for in any way for what has happened. And he has everyone here at Ustream, and hopefully everyone with any common sense, he has our best wishes. Now, let's talk about the latest bullshit coming from Southport, the killings there, right? This has really got up my ooter. Now, it comes out that this animal, here he is again. Oh no, I'll tell you what, let's show the picture that the police and the mainstream media were putting out. It's the only picture they had. Here it is. Now, it's come about that this arsehole had been stopped with a knife in public 10 times before he murdered those girls. 10 times. Nothing was done. He wasn't locked up, right? That's on top of the free referrals to that funny counter-extremism program. It's called Prevent, isn't it? Yes, it's a new agency called Prevent, and it's to prevent what exactly fucking happened, right? And they didn't prevent the thing. In fact, I was listening to Wireless on Radio 4 this morning. I got up at Sparrow's Fart this morning for some reason. And took some logs up the M3, but that's another story. So I was listening to this ex-head of terrorism saying that these people Prevent are run by idiots, people that are just overwhelmed, undertrained little snowflake people, and they're underfunded, of course. And what are they supposed to do? Well, they haven't fucking done it, have they? So what would it happen if this Prevent was in America? Donald Trump would have shut it down, wouldn't he, straight away? Oh no, Keir Starmer, he could have said, well, they tried their best. There's not a lot we could do. You see, we go by the law. Where Donald Trump said the people home. We'll talk about Donald Trump in a minute. I think he's fucking great. I'd have sacked that woman, the bishop. I nearly said a bad word then. Bishop, I meant. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. But let's just talk about this little shit right now. He's been expelled from school for violent behaviour. So what the fuck is going on in this country? How many opportunities did the powers that be need to stop this lad? The murderer. Are we all just lambs to the sacrifice? Hey, can we walk through Woolwich? Oh, well, you shouldn't have gone through there. No wonder you had your head chopped off. You was walking through Woolwich. So how can we have any faith in our systems of our country when they have failed so badly? And this is just one case. How many more of these monsters do we have walking around? They're known to all the authority people, and they just let them carry on. Yeah. In fact, what about the thousands that's come over on the fucking dinghies walking around? What's happening to them? The ones that just ran off and we'll never see again. What happened? Doesn't stop Border Force posing around Heathrow, does it? No, if they watch this now, they'll strip search me, won't they? Anyway, our fearless Home Secretary did a speech about the knife issue, and guess what? Who is the government blaming? Is it those who failed to take action? The ones that failed to get this fucker off the streets? I don't think it is, George. I think the government are blaming someone ridiculous. Oh no, they're not blaming Amazon, are they? Yes, they are. Well, I think it's ridiculous, Zippy. Fuck off, Bungle, for a knife, yeah. No, it's mad. Because this geezer bought the knife from Amazon, yes, you've guessed it, it's Amazon's fault. At Amazon, right, he was allowed to buy a knife at the age of 17. So now they've changed it. On the Wireless today, I hear you've got to have 2 forms of identification before you buy a knife. How fucking unbelievable is that? They're blaming Amazon. Do you know what? If they got in my house, I've got enough knives in my drawer, razor sharp. By the way, there's nothing more dangerous than a blunt knife. So I keep my knives razor sharp. I've got enough knives in there to kill people. You don't want to be a burglar coming in my house. Don't worry about that. Once they get past the landmines and the GPMG on the top with the missus holding the belt of 7.62 link. But never mind. I can't actually believe this government. They must take us for absolute fucking morons. And you think that there'd be a sort of a takeaway from this disaster, wouldn't you? That someone found in possession of a knife in public should go to prison, unless he has a reason to have a knife. If he's I don't know, hunts bears or something, he's a trapper, trying on the old trapper's hat. There's an expression, isn't it? Now, does it mean that we shut down the place where he bought the knife? Okay. What about someone bashing someone to fucking death with a cricket bat? Should we ban cricket? It's getting ridiculous, isn't it? He could have got that knife from my kitchen fucking drawer. Don't worry about that. Oh dear. And now the national newspapers, they think this is great. They've led the front page. Read all about it. Amazon. It shows just how far our mainstream press have fallen, that they buy such bullshit government bollocks, which is clearly being put out as a deflection so we don't focus on the massive fuck-ups of all these authorities that they put together. We've got to have a public inquiry into the people that had the inquiry of why we're doing, and prevent the inquiry of this one thing. And of course, we can't do it because we can't go to court. I'll tell you what, everyone is still absolutely fucking angry about Keir Starmer's speech and him saying that the information couldn't be released any earlier because it would have prejudiced a trial. What? Well, thank God we've got other KCs and barristers lining up to explain why this is absolute bollocks and why information could and should have been given to the public. Right, here's a fact. Axel Rakatudibaga, right? He should have been charged with possession of ricin, right? That's what he should have been charged with, ricin, and an Al-Qaeda training manual. Let's put the two together. He's got an Al-Qaeda training manual, and he's making poisonous gas. Bless him. Let's send him to prevent, and they'll prevent anyone fucking arresting him. This is a joke, isn't it, eh? He should have been done for terrorism at the same time as he's charged with murder, possession of ricin, possession of... It's quite easy to make ricin, apparently. It's like that, like burning toast, really. So, who didn't want to do anything? The police, the Crown Prussians, the CPS, they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to call him a terrorist because they didn't want to call a terrorist a terrorist. Simple as that. 3 little girls being slaughtered at a dance class. Now, was that a line crossed for so many people? And they couldn't cope with the level. No. Of course it was a line crossed for people. They knew that there would be public outcry and public anger, and they couldn't fucking cope with it. So we're all asking, who the fuck are we letting in this country, and who is walking our streets with knives? And probably cricket bats now I've mentioned it. But let's have a look at some of the previous incidents where a man drove his car into a mosque. Horrific fucking thing to do. He drove his car into a mosque in 2017, and it was declared a terrorist incident before the fucking engine was switched off. Let's have a look at this. Keir Starmer on that day, quite happily calling it a terrorist event. From even before it went to court, for anything, the bloke was still being banged up in the back of the police car. What about the attacks at Westminster, eh? Manchester, Joe Cox and Keith Palmer. Keith Palmer, a Charlton fan, they still keep his seat free down the valley, and they still sing Keith Palmer was one of our own, murdered, and that was declared a terrorist incident immediately, on the spot. So his argument of prejudice fucking up a trial just doesn't stack up. And on top of that, if he was so concerned about the fucking up the trials, why was he so cavalier about, talking about the far right motives behind the Southport riots, protests and social media posts? The Home Office even put out a tweet calling them criminals before court proceedings took place. That's slightly illegal as well, isn't it? What has happened? Two-tier Keir, you've got to get your act together because you're now becoming a laughing stock. I think you're a pretty good bloke and I think you're doing your best. But really, it's like putting me in the SAS. I think I know how to do it, but I wouldn't have a fucking clue or the stamina to do. I can't do anything really apart from tell fucking jokes. And the public won't forget this cover-up, Prime Minister. No, they won't. You, yes, Sir Keir Starmer, and your awful amateur cronies, you've let us down. You've let those girls down. We have had enough. I've had it up to here. Up to here, haven't you? I think we all had enough. So let's have a little look at the wokies. I remember there was a newsagent. Where's that newsagent? Is it? It's over there, isn't it? That newsagent? Because I went in there today and I saw this thing about Elon Musk. Apparently, he put his right hand on his chest and then put his whole arm up in the air in front of him just to say the crowd has captured his heart like that. Yeah, but no, Sieg Heil. That's what they're saying. They're saying he's a fucking Nazi. It's absolute. Do you know what? They've made the complete fucking idiots of themselves. It's a joke, isn't it? It's quite obvious he wasn't doing a Nazi salute. And the gobshites, right? I just don't get it. They're making themselves look absolutely fucking stupid. He was waving. He responded saying, frankly, they need better dirty tricks. I mean, everyone is Hitler. I mean, Hitler, right-wing terrorists, awful. It's just getting a bit boring now. It's getting a bit tired. Why don't we talk about the real terrorism that's going on? Oh, no, it's not terrorism. Having rice in and fucking having a how to make bombs and blow aeroplanes up manual. No. My mic fell off now in disgust. So let's have a look at someone else that's obviously a right-wing Nazi. Here's Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Elizabeth Warren, all big Hitler fans, as you can see. And here's a video of, what's her name, that Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez doing it. She's been one of the most gobbiest people about Elon Musk's gesture on social media. And let's have a look at her doing exactly the same. Fuck me, even Superman's doing it, look. Da, 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 da. Grow up. Glow up. Yes, do both. Glow up, you refty lankers. That's stupid. You lost. You lot lost. Trump is in. I love what he's doing. I absolutely love what he's doing, the way he's sacking people. Now, you know he should sack that fucking bishop. Did you see this woman? I heard her on the wireless, and I've seen pictures. Here she is, look. We couldn't quite show her rainbow laces, but she is a woman bishop, which will give you some idea. And she's preaching about trans kids and protecting illegal immigrants, right? She just wanted to have a go at Trump at his inaugural prayer service. There's a time and a place, isn't there, Bishop? Bishop Marianne Budde, B-U-D-D-E. Marianne Budde. She's the Bishop of Washington. Why haven't they got a proper bishop, a geezer? Fucking a real left-wing nut who has a history of putting out negative comments about Trump. She stood there and unleashed some bullshit, some absolute fucking bullshit that trans kids were now fearing for their lives due to him being in the Oval Office. I'm pleading for him to have mercy on them. Then she told him to have mercy on the illegal immigrants. Fuck that, they're not all criminals. Not yet, they're not. Tell that to the three little guys. I'm not saying this Rakabuki Dookie Yuki guy was an illegal immigrant, but fuck me, we don't know who's walking around here. But we'll just blame Amazon. We'll make sure all illegal immigrants do not have Amazon on speed dial. That'll do it. Or you can't buy a knife unless you tell them your name and your date of birth. Okay, now, this is a joke, isn't it? It is a joke. So, apart from Trump ruling the world and getting rid of wokeism, we've got nutters walking around where we don't know who they are. Keir Starmer's trying to cover up, which is obviously a complete balls up by everybody. And we're here at Ustream just trying and present it. I'm not even trying to be funny about this. It's a fucking nightmare. The world has gone mad. And I think people are sick to death and sick and tired of these woke, horrible fucking people in the world. The world is a dangerous place and it needs to be managed properly. It needs to be managed properly. What's going to happen in the Middle East? Is that ceasefire going to hold? Don't put your house on that, will you? It is a nightmare. What's going to happen? Has Trump called Putin yet? Have they had a little fun? What is what you want, Donald? I'm going to put a tariff. Well, we don't give a fuck. We shop at Amazon anyway, and we've got our own knives, so bollocks to you. That was the worst Russian accent anyway. Okay, Nostroya. Auf Wiedersehen, pet. I'll be back tomorrow with some proper news and a few laughs. The world's gone mad. Have a little look. This will cheer you up before we go. It's me and Jerry Kay in a little snippet of our live show. Did you miss out on my live broadcast? Well, don't you worry about that.
Love and juice, you stupid sod.
You can watch the best bits of myself and Jerry Kay as we give you 40 minutes of non-stop, side-splitting comedy.
He jumped so much, he fell out of his wheelchair.
So head on over to www.ustream.com now and check out Jim Davidson Live, the highlights.